Hello, infidels. I wanted to share the difference between Hans Kung and Taylor Marshall, Dr. Taylor Marshall, in the church, and they're both Catholics. Well, Hans Kung just passed about a month or two ago, I guess. Rest in peace. He left the earth as a priest in good standing. However, he was censored by the Vatican. I think it was John Paul II, because he was stripped of being a Catholic theologian. Yet, as I said, he was still in good standing as a priest in the church. And I think part of that was they all kind of went through Vatican II together, Pope Benedict, JP2, and Hans Kung. So they did have certain relationships, although they were on different points of the spectrum. Now, John Paul II, he came out of the Vatican Council, and he was criticized by many people like Taylor Marshall, who's a traditional Latin Catholic. He goes to that Mass. Although I don't think Marshall specifically criticizes him, but like him, during JP2's time, he was criticized by conservatives. But at the same time, Hans Kung said when JP2 and Benedict became popes, they brought us back to the Middle Ages with their domination of the Vatican, and they wielded power and said this person is a good theologian, this person is a bad theologian. And we know that Benedict was the leader of the doctrine of the faith. He oversaw that during John Paul II, and then he became pope. And that is just another name for the doctrine of the faith. The one in charge of that is another name. They changed the name from the Inquisition to that name. And I can't think of the first word of that title, of something to do with the guarding the faith. But anyway, Hans Kung was, he questioned the infallibility of the Pope, for example. He wanted a married priesthood. He wanted women to have more authority in the church. He was that kind of guy. That's just the way he was. It's almost like some people are born that way. And then you got guys like Taylor Marshall, who are like, hardcore in the sense of, keeping no changes to the doctrine of the faith, going way back to popes of the past, saying, these things are in stone. We can't change these things. And so there's a real difference between two people. Both of them are criticized. Like the Vatican II people criticize Taylor Marshall that he's being too hardcore, because Marshall's always criticizing Vatican II. So he criticizes teachers, evangelists like your Bishop Robert Barron, that he's not conservative enough, and then Bishop Robert Barron and others, they shoot back at Taylor Marshall too. But now Hans Kung on the other side would say that, he would say that maybe like a Robert Barron is too conservative and is not open to other things in the church. So I just wanted to give a difference between Hans Kung, who just died at 93. He was a famous Swiss theologian who was at Vatican II with Pope Benedict, and Pope JP2. They were all, Vatican II priests at the time, and Hans Kung was a theologian, and they left the Vatican II, and Hans Kung was really excited about John the 23rd, but he wasn't too happy about John Paul II. He felt like the church was going backwards. And So all those guys had something in common. Now, as far as Francis and Hans Kung lived a very long life, 93, and he actually saw Francis come to power, and he wrote Francis a letter to study the issue of infallibility, if that's really legitimate, the infallibility of the Pope. And Francis said he would look into the matter, but yeah, so that was the infallibility was a big issue with him, and he did, and I think Francis wrote him a written letter back, and because saying that he would study the issue, but that's about all I got to say now about this topic, and God bless you. Be at peace. Love you. Bye.